Hi guys, welcome back to another video. Today is an exciting day. A, it's Friday. B, we are going to talk about the most commonly asked question, which is, can I afford to pay all my tuition fee if I'm working on a part-time job? And look, there's a lot of content on YouTube covering this topic. Depending on person's situation, the answer is different for every single person. What I would try and achieve in this video is to provide you a tool whereby you can insert numbers and you can see the output yourself. When I say tool, I'm talking about an Excel sheet, and don't worry, you don't have to pay for it. So it's completely free, and by the end of the video you would be able to download the Excel sheet itself from the description. And I think it's a fantastic tool at your fingertips, which would allow you to understand the output. For instance, every person's tuition fee would be different depending on how much deposit they have paid. So that will allow you to change different variables and see what's the net impact.
Right then, I'm in front of my computer machine to demonstrate how this spreadsheet works. Obviously, you can notice from my background, I'm in my home now. So without further delay, let's get into it. So let's start by this very famous quote from Albert Einstein. Not everything that counts can be counted, and not everything that can be counted counts. I think it's a powerful statement there. So again, a bit of breakdown of this. This is again just a tool, just to show how numbers will pan out depending on different variables. At the end of the day, you have to make a well-informed decision based on black and white data and based on your situation. So yeah, I just wanted to put it out there as a disclaimer. Let's look into this table here first. Depending on your hourly rate, you can change it. I have put £10 based on my conversation with different students. Then we have got full-term months, then we got holiday months, and then we got hours per week. Part-time, you won't be able to work more than 20, but in full-time, you would notice I've got 60. But that's again based on my previous experience, where I worked as a security officer and I was getting 5 shifts per week in my holidays, which was equivalent to 60 hours. But then again, you can change it depending on your needs. Let's say you might not get 60 hours per week when you have holidays. You would perhaps you're only getting 48 hours. So yeah, change it as per your needs. Then we have hours per month. Then we got full time, and then we got income per month. Then we have income per year. The other thing which you should be mindful of the fact that is that anything which you earn over 12,570, there are tax implications to it. And in this situation, if our income goes to 16K, there would be some tax implication, which is 1098. Don't change this cell because this is automatically generated based on your income. So let's say if your income is only £10,000, obviously you won't pay any tax, and that would go down as 0. But yeah, these are automatically generated formula fields. So yeah, please don't change those. Okay, and then we got a big one, the university fee. So obviously every university has got a different fee structure. I've just taken an average based on my conversation with different students, which is 11K. You can change it as per your tuition fee. And scrolling down to this table here, this table shows the income in comparison with your cost. And with cost, you would notice I've also included tax, which is a big one. Sometimes students miss and don't really take that into account. But in this spreadsheet, I have taken that into account based on the income you're earning. Again, we got 2 different columns showing part-time, full-time, and then a third column combining those two. It also shows you per month savings for part-time working hours. It also shows you full-time savings working at 60 hours, and then the same principle applies for the third column, which is both. And based on those numbers, you get around £9,000 saving. And if I scroll across, I think this is an exciting stats to look at. And that's the visual representation of how your numbers are panning out. You are earning £16,000 income, your expenses are 7,098, your university fee is £11,000, and you're projecting to save around £9,000. That would give you a deficit of £2,000. And there are possible solutions to that. You can agree an installment plan with the university, but looking at this deficit, what else you can do? Let's say, someone might argue my fee is not 11,000, my fee is only £10,000. And if I put £10,000, we can see from the graph that deficit of £2,000 goes down to £1,000. That clearly shows, you can play with the spreadsheet, put different numbers in to see what's the net impact. I think the idea is to give you a realistic picture where you would be standing in terms of your expenses and in terms of your savings, depending on your numbers. Right, and obviously, if you disagree with these numbers here, which I have put together in terms of expenses, just change those. Just change those to see, what's the net impact. Obviously, this is again formula driven, so don't change that because that's based on your income. Apart from that number, change anything you want in terms of your expenses as per your expenses needs to see how these numbers pan out. I would like to put more emphasis on having an emergency and miscellaneous pot because you never know, there might be things which may pop up and you may have to address those. So always have some sort of emergency fund which you are putting £25 away for, just for unexpected rainy days. Right. So now let's look at some limitations to this. Like I said, nothing in this world is perfect, so there are limitations to this. I have not considered any cost in relation to a trip back home. We have not considered any money to be sent back home. Obviously, living as a student in UK, we all belong to a middle class family. If you do belong to a rich family, congratulations. But if you are belonging to a middle class family, there's also an expectation that you would send some money back home. But in this case, I've not considered that, and hence, you can see there's a limitation there. Assuming that you would get the job straight away, hence eight months used, I think that's a limitation as well. If you look at over here on our variable section, we are saying as soon as we come into the UK, we'll get the job. Sometimes that might not be the scenario. You might have to wait for another month to get the job. So if you change it to 7, that would be a more realistic number. And then again, if you get 7 months in your variable section, your income goes down. This is where I think this tool itself, is fantastic to work out the end result if anything changes in your variable section here, be it your income, be it your hourly rate, be it your weekly hours. And then again, after April 2023, the rate will go up to 1042. So after April, you can also increase this to 1042 to see the net impact. Right now, we are saying 15,200, but after April 23, if we change that to 1042, you can clearly see, the numbers bump up. So yeah, it just goes to show how these numbers can play out. So going back to our limitations again, working full time in your holidays, hence 4 months using our calculation. Let me explain again. You have 4 months of vacation, and you would be working flat out for 4 months during your holiday, and I think which will take a toll on your mental health. So that's another limitation. The final point is after working full time and saving and then working in your vacation as well, we still have a deficit. So there are limitations. I've also put together some possible solution. For instance, when you talk about not considering any money towards trip back home, you are putting £25 away for emergency fund or miscellaneous, so you can perhaps save those two and get perhaps you can save those two, which will be for £420. If you save for 12 months, that would be £420, and then again, that can be used against your trip back home. Prioritizing money to be sent home versus money used in trips. Perhaps you belong to a family where sending money would be more important than planning a trip back home. So yeah. Number 3, performing detailed research into how to get job, researching the area geographically, and understand what jobs can be attained straight away prior to your arrival in UK. Again, we are all adults, so we need to do that research in order to get ourselves familiar to the area which we are going into, as opposed to just sit back and relax. It's a big step. There would be a cultural shock, there would be mindset shock. So yeah, you need to get your house in that order, I would say. If I were you, I would register my name with security company as a dedicated relief officer and letting companies know that I would be available in my holiday time so that I can get maximum shifts. The last one, working full time and saving, perhaps if we still have a deficit, you can ask university to give you a installment plan. There's no university which does not provide you an installment plan, so they would be lenient on that and would be able to provide you an installment plan. And it also depends on your deficit. If you're talking about 1642, that's not a massive amount we're talking. So there are ways around it. You can address that issue. Now, looking at other considerations depends on your university holidays, which may allow you to work for more than 4 months. I know I was speaking to a student the other day, and he was saying he gets 5 months off. So effectively, if he gets 5 months off, he can work more full time and earn more money. It also depends on hourly rate you're getting at your job. Some people might get 12 hours, and some people might get 9.50, which is minimum wage. So it depends on that as well. How tightly you can manage your expenses, a big one. How can you manage these expenses? Again, your accommodation plays a huge role in your expenses, and at some degree I would say this is beyond your control, and as we speak the accommodation situation in UK is crazy. Tax again, that's been driven by your income, groceries, transport. Just play around with this data, see where you can save money, see if you don't need a mobile phone, get mobile phone from your home country, don't buy any phone from here, just pay the contract fee for your mobile, perhaps £10 per month as opposed to £25. See where you can save money to better control your expenses, because that would give you more savings which you can put towards your tuition fee. And the fourth one is living expenses differ based on your location. Obviously, if you're living in London, that would be more expensive. Depends how much deposit you have in respect to a first year. That plays a huge role, because if you have only paid 65% or 70% minimum, then the remaining installments would be looming on your head. I would suggest try and pay the entire first year tuition fee, so that when you come here and land in UK, you start from clean slate and you have entire year to save up for next year fee. Cash jobs, again, I don't recommend those, but students do work cash jobs in order to, in order to address the deficit, but I don't personally recommend those. But this was basically an overview of the spreadsheet. I would share the link in description and you can download this for free. I have invested time into this, and the idea was when I was student, this would have been a gold sand for me. Let me know what you think about it. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel, then can I please ask you to subscribe it and press the bell icon for any notification for future videos. On the happy note, take care. Allah Hafiz.